Sometimes problems happen on your computer and you have no idea what happened, what went wrong, and how to reverse it. Luckily, there's a service built into Windows going back several versions that will allow you to undo whatever happened and put it back to the way it was before the problem existed. So in this video, I'm going to explain the options around that, how to use it, how to make sure it's already enabled as it should be, and all the other limitations as well. So all this coming up. Stick around. Okay, so the first thing to know is if you are expecting to restore your system, this only works on workstation computers. So for example, if it's a server, you're not going to be able to just undo whatever changes happened on a server operating system. There is so much complexity with a server that that feature is not available. You'd have to go in and specifically modify the settings and fix the server manually. You can't just do this on a server. So anyway, with that said, most of the time it's a workstation computer that we're talking about, so any user can do this at any time, and I'm going to show you how to find this. There's two different ways to do it. One was just getting used to the old way from like back in Windows 7 and then looking at the new way through Windows 10. So let's first have a look at what I was kind of used to through Windows 7 but using Windows 10. So I'll have a look at my screen. So if I go down to the start button and we'll search for the control panel. So in the control panel you can search for system, and actually that's not even the way I was going to do that. So you could go through this way, and the other thing is if you right click on the start button you can go to system as well, and that's a shortcut to get to the same thing. Although it actually brings you to the new control panel, and then there's system info up here, and when you click on that then it will bring you to this screen. So in this window here we've got system protection, and if we click on that we have all the options here to do the system restore and create all the options. The other way is if you go through the start menu, go to the control cog there, you can type in restore, and you want to make sure it's not reset this PC. That's not what we're doing here, because that would do a couple of options as far as wiping your system clean, preserving the data, or wiping the data, but it would remove all your programs as well. We don't want to do that, so it would be recovery. But in this view it actually separates everything. So from creating the restore point, opening it to do a restore, or configuring it. But when you go into, for example, opening restore, it just goes straight into restoring, or configuring it will bring us to the other screen. So I like going through the first option, what we had, so we can see everything all in this one screen. So whichever way you get to it, you can still have access to all the features. So first of all, seeing the C drive, your main system drive, it should say on under protection, so you know that it's actively monitoring and creating restore points automatically when needed. And as another way of checking, you can click on system restore as though you're going to do a restore, which is something else to show you how to restore. Go to next, and it does warn you actually that it may help fix some of the problems, and it doesn't affect any of your documents, pictures, or personal data. So you're not going to lose any of your information. Only programs that were installed will get uninstalled. Anything that got removed will get put back in. but it doesn't affect changes made to documents, pictures, videos, or any other personal information you have. So here it will give you a list of the different restore points, what time, date and time when it was done, and how that restore point was created. If it was created by Windows automatically on some kind of scheduled basis, or it was created by a program that before it got uninstalled, it would create a restore point for you. So you would be able to highlight that and hit next. Now you could see potentially a bunch more options for restore points as well. There may be a button here saying to show more options if there are any, and when you hit next, it's going to confirm that your computer is going to be restored to the state it was in before this date and time. And it could potentially change your password back to the way it was before if your password was changed at that time. So if your password doesn't work, it may be the old password, and that's why it's also recommending to create a password reset disk, which would be another video here. So that's it. If you hit finish, which I'm not going to do, it's going to reboot the computer, go through the recovery, come back to the login screen, and when it's done, it'll pop up a message saying that it was restored successfully or it wasn't. Now, one of the things that I found here is that if it sometimes says it restored successfully, it still didn't fix the problem. Or I've also had it where it said it did not complete the restore successfully, but somehow it fixed the problem. So I don't understand why that would do that, but I've seen it happen on a number of occasions. So regardless of what it says, if it was successful or not, check it out, see if the problem's been resolved from doing that restore point. And if it didn't work, you can go back to other restore points and run them, going back slowly from the most current to the older ones and see where it finally will fix the issue. If none of them work, you're going to have to unfortunately try and do some other type of repair methods. So going back to the main screen here, we had the system restore button to actually run a restore. You can see that it's on and for which drives. You can create a restore point and just type it in here. And it just may take a moment depending on the speed of your computer and how much there is to back up. It'll make that restore point, but it usually doesn't take more than a few seconds, and it tells you it's been created successfully. If you want highlighting the drive that you're going to create the protection on, go to configure. You can make sure that it says it is turned on, which it did say on the previous screen, or you can disable it if you don't want to have restore on. The only reason you may not want to have system restore turned on is that you're low on disk space and you don't want to be having that on. But it's really good to save your butt in case something happens here. And if you're limited on space, this is where you can choose how much space on your drive you want to designate towards system restores. So you can drag the slider. It tells you the current usage and what percentage of the drive is available that you want to reserve for system restores. And if you want to delete all the restores for the drive and start over, you can just hit the delete button here and it'll take everything out and you can start over fresh. And that's good if you are really running out of drive space and want to start over with that. So that is pretty much it with doing a system restore. And so you can see that it's very easy to reverse the process after certain things unfold on the computer, that you're unsure of what happened and you want to be able to put that back to the way it was, you can just go here, click the button, and everything is back to normal again. So that's it for this quick tutorial. Hopefully you guys liked it. You can give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate all your suggestions and feedback that help me keep going and making more helpful tutorials for you guys. Alright, thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.